All right, I'm glad you're here. We're beginning our journey together into hope. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to breathe. So here we go. Take in a deep breath and then blow out and reach to the sky and spread your arms. Come down and take in a deep breath, blow out, and think about the one thing, the place you want to be that is your favorite spot that's going to give you peace and happiness. Think about that place. For me, it's on the river. So here we go. We do it 5 times, and then we're coming. We're going to be together in our little sphere of learning and change together. Here we go. And doesn't that make you feel better? Welcome to my world. So let's get started. So, what is hope? This is what we're going to learn today. We're going to explore hope a little bit, both from the traditional sense and then in your new understanding of hope as you move forward with this journey. In traditional sense, the word hope is having a desire with an expectation of its completion. Um, in traditional sense, it's like a wish or desire, and from a theological perspective in Christianity, um, it's designed as a desire and a search for a future good, difficult but not impossible to attain with God's help. But when you say to someone, "I hope you're having a good day," again, it's a desire that you are wishing that they would have a good day. Um, but even more so, um, how, when you deliver that word to someone, are you doing it with a sense of love, of kindness, or are you being genuine? Uh, are you being honest? So there are different ways of approaching hope. But for you, hope is going to have a whole different meaning when we're done with this. Hope seems to have a very washed context nowadays. Hope is too easily used from day to day if you think about it. Um, but it's been a kind word. But for you today, going forward, you're going to have a whole different vision of hope. You're going to go into every day and every situation. You're going to be able to honestly assess every situation. You're going to openly embrace the power that you have that was given to you in your creation by God to be able to do great things, knowing that you can also do awful things. And you're going to accept the accountability and responsibility of that magnificent power, that omnipotence that you have. And you're going to be able to love openly and purely without the expectation of reciprocity. And you're going to find your life purpose. You're going to learn what it is that we have in this essence of humanity, your essence of yourself that you were created to do in this lifetime when you were given this body to house your soul while you're here on this earth to experience your lessons and to be able to deliver your value, to contribute to the life, the essence of life here on this planet. So it's an amazing thing that you're about to learn. It's an amazing journey you're about to take. And when you get to the end of this journey, you're going to be able to develop a strategic plan for yourself. You're going to be able to write your vision statement for who it is you're going to be, what you're going to do, and you're going to be able to develop that whole strategy around that and go forward and live life and prosper. So you will know that every time you address someone or some situation with hope, that you're unleashing the power of the universe to align itself with what it is that you're trying to prefer, you're going to accomplish. Because when you really think about it, the four principles that I'm laying out for you here are nothing new. They've been there your whole time, your whole life. It's just that because of who we are as humans, we have decided that we are able to do things other than live these four principles. And we've gotten away from the very foundations that make us powerful and successful humans. So we're going to get back to those. And we're going to think about the power of creation, the miracle of creation, and the power of the universe. And if those things are foreign to you, don't worry about it. You'll start thinking about those things more and more. But I want you to consider the idea that there's now growing evidence, um, even among the evolutionary and the creation sectors of knowledge, that say that the two sides are of the same coin. There's scientific evidence now that the two are intrinsically joined, that we have evolved after our creation. If you look at it that way, it's a lot simpler discussion. The answer to fulfilling life is so simple. It's so simple that once we discover it and we understand the secret, you'll wonder why everyone hasn't known about it and done it all along. So what happens? What happened to us to take us away from those basic fundamentals? The secret is in the book that I handed you, and they're so simple. Do you know your life purpose? Or has it been trained out of you? The American dream, as we understand it, seems to be to find a job, save up, buy a house, have a family, retire, and die. Um, that seems to be what it's about. When you are born and you're very young, you have a good idea of what it is you want to be when you grow up. How many kids do you hear say, "I want to be an astronaut," or "I want to be um, whatever they want to be"? But by the time they're like 9 years old, that's been trained out of them. They no longer know what it was they were here to do, and they go about their lives, and they end up very unhappy. They end up doing the drudge to go do something that they're really not happy doing. They don't really feel fulfilled in their lives. No, some are very, lucky enough to be able to hold on to what their essence was and be able to march forward. But you from the time you're 3 to 5 years old, when you should be able to hold on to what it was you were meant to be, you're handed off to different people. You go to school, and your teachers teach you certain things. And unfortunately, our school system has really evolved to a point where they're not teaching us very much at all in terms of helping us nurture what it is that our we were created to do. We've become um, not what we were designed for. So you're handed off to various people, and then by the time you're in your teens, you've been programmed with certain beliefs that may be completely different from what you know inside your honesty center they're supposed to be. And so sometimes it's too late for a parent to even have any influence over you anymore. Your parents may have been the ones that taught you a new belief system that is far out from what you were created to do. And it's that way for millions of people. It doesn't matter whether you're young, old, white, black, Muslim, Christian, whatever you are, you no longer have that thrill of life that was given to you to do. You no longer have that purpose in your drive, in your heart. It's that way for millions of people. So this is like a negative programming. A negative programming. Just puts you in a position where you don't need to be. It doesn't have to stay that way, and we're here to help you get out of that. So that's what hope is going to be for you. Um, your inner child is your life purpose. Sometimes you hear that little voice in your mind that says, "This is what you ought to be doing." And so every Friday night you practice some hobby or something like that. Well, that may be your essence. That may be your life purpose. Knocking at the door saying, "Hey, let me out, let me out." Um, so you need to understand that what has been happening with you has been programmed in you. It's called subconscious programming, and it has led you to the point you're at now. It has put you in a box. It has put you in this created situation that to where you don't know what your life purpose is anymore. So the good news is that you're here. And the good news is that we're going to help you get through that and help you pull yourself out of that. So let's briefly discuss the HOPE formula and its components a little bit. And then we'll move into each one of those components. And we'll have exercises and things like that that get you through each step of the process. Okay? So honesty is a way of life. So that's the H in the formula. And it can't be manipulated or altered in any way. When we say be honest, we are saying speak from your heart where your honesty receptors live. One of the things that we've been learning in our research is that there is a connection between the heart and the brain, and that there is a connection in how those two are talking to each other and helping us decide the things that we need to do, what's the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. And there is the health receptors that are in there. And so there's a lot of science now about the power of the heart. It's not just there to be pumping blood. There is a lot of energy around the heart, and the heart to brain communication is going on all the time. Um, so when someone asks you a question, you can do one of two things. You can answer them from your heart and risk the response, or you can answer the way the questioner would like you to answer. So ask yourself the question, which one fits your makeup? So are you answering it in the most honest way, or are you answering it because you kind of sense what the questioner is asking you the answer to be? Um, you can manipulate your response to fit a narrative. That's what a lot of people believe truth is. Manipulating facts to fit the narrative that needs to be the outcome of the questioning. That's what a lot of people do in courtrooms. That's what a lot of people do in questioning. That's what's happening with a lot of the news these days. Rather than give an honest answer, or doing honest research, or doing the honest background checking, the facts, if you will, are manipulated and moved around to fit a narrative for an outcome, rather than the honesty that needs to be presented being presented. So you end up with this malignant narrative they call the truth, which is not the truth at all. It is something that is way off from the honest story you should be getting told. And it's happening in the news today. It's happening in our government. It's happening with politicians. It's happening with teachers, and with so many people who have lost this sense of honesty, and instead are replacing that with what their truth is. And how many times now are you hearing, this is my truth? This is my truth. And so what does that really mean? Well, it means that they are not being honest with you. It means that they are telling you a story that fits what they want the truth to be, not necessarily what is honest, what is actually factual, but what they have crafted the information around them to be, to fit a narrative to tell you what their truth is. So that's it. That's it. Um, so you have to um, look at yourself from the perspective of a mirror, and you're looking at your eyes, and looking at that pathway into your soul. And we're going to get into that. We're going to do an honesty assessment later, and we're going to have you really dig into where your honesty is, and honestly take a look at your situation, and put together um, some honesty points that you're going to put together to help build your vision going forward. So you're going to ask yourself some very important questions about yourself and about others and that kind of thing. And then you're going to put that together in a vision state, into an honesty assessment statement, honesty statement, and you're going to reward yourself with some things. And so that's the honest part of the formula that you're going to be getting into. The openness, or the omnipotence piece, is a willingness or readiness to receive, right? You've got to be open with this whole thing. You've got to be willing to receive new information. You've got to be willing to be trained. You've got to be open to change. Particularly, you got to be open to change. You got to be a change agent within yourself. Have you ever wondered why a person has done what they did? Sometimes you witness something that doesn't make sense to you, but you witnessed that thing and you thought it was a miracle. Where does that come from, and how did it get to be to that person that got to do that miracle? I want you to think about something, and this When I went through this process, I began to open myself up to receive information and knowledge and things like that. If you look at just take a second, just stop right now, and just look around you at the various objects that are in your room or wherever you are. Your mouse for your computer, your wireless mouse. Someone created that. The computer that you're looking at me on right now. The pen, the pencil, the book, the clock, the window shades, the window blinds, the plastic bottle that contains your water. These are all magnificent miracles that were created by man. Omnipotence means having unlimited or universal power, authority, or force, all powerful. One, having unlimited power or authority. You need to understand that you have unlimited universal power and authority, and you have the power to live a happy and prosperous life. All you got to do is open up to receive it. All you have to do is open up and ask, and you shall receive. You are connected to God, your creator, in both positive ways and negative ways, because you can do things that are great and powerful, and you can do things that are awful and terrible, as we have witnessed throughout our lives. But you have to understand that you have an accountability and responsibility when you do those actions. When you create those magnificent things, there are actions and reactions. You have to accept the accountability and responsibility for your actions in doing those things you do. So it's very great and powerful. It's a wonderful thing to have, but it's also very dangerous. It can be. So we have to understand that we can't just go exercising our power without thinking about the reactions that are going to come when we make those decisions, right? So that's the openness and the omnipotence piece. The O is twofold in the O, is the openness and the omnipotence. So we'll be going into those things quite in depth to understand how powerful we are and how open we need to be. Understand that what you hold in your heart right now is your belief system, and that your belief system is what's controlling your subconscious life, your subconscious reactions. You know how you tie your shoes, and how you know how to open things, how to use a knife and a fork. These are all things that come from being subconsciously programmed to become habits or your belief system. The way that you move, the way that you do, those are your subconscious programming that becomes your beliefs. Beliefs become your life. So for clarity, let's talk a little bit about mysticism and how that impacts your ability to exercise your omnipotence and be open to receive information. Science, natural laws, and spirituality are integrated into our fabric of our existence by our Creator. In that way, it ensures that all humans have the opportunity to experience lessons intended for us to evolve spiritually and to become fully conscious humans. Getting away from those things can have catastrophic results. And that's what this whole HOPE formula is designed to help you do, is to get back to those fundamental laws, to get back to living within those laws again. What has been happening over the millennia is we've been getting programmed away from those basic laws. What your life has been programmed to be is what has led to the current state of the human condition on this planet. Imagine what it would be if the outcome would be if humans already knew that fact of life. Well, you're about to learn that fact of life, and we're going to uncover the secrets, and we're going to get into that with you in great depth. I want you to be very excited here because we have learned so much in studying the things that have gotten us where we are. And we're going to unlock those things for you and help you to understand what you can do to be that great and powerful human being without causing damage to yourself and others. When you have opened and up to receive the power you will receive, you're going to no longer have the ability to hate. You will have overcome those things on all levels. So welcome. Be happy that you're here. Let's talk about pure love for a minute. It's a deep, tender, ineffable feeling of affection and solicitude toward a living thing, such as that rising from your kin, love for animals, recognition of attractive qualities. The main aspect of this is that you love without an expectation of reciprocity. In other words, you do not expect anything from the love that you are emanating toward that other thing, that other person, that other animal, but particularly with that other person. This is very difficult in today's age, but you have to learn to love without expectation of anything in return. Love is the elixir that heals us all. Jesus was teaching us that, and we all need to do that thing called pure love. And you're going to learn about how to do that. It's very crucial for you to get into this new evolution of your life, into this new um, role for you in your life going forward. Our Creator does not want you to kill your neighbor. In fact, He made a commandment that says, "Thou shalt not kill your neighbor." Um, you must love your neighbor. Um, one of the things that has always bothered me about some of our scriptural stuff is talking about how God is a wrathful God, and how we've had to fight wars in the name of God and kill our fellow man. I believe those are man-made concepts. I believe that man has made those concepts in his own thinking in order to gain power and control over other people. War is an awful concept. It is, and it has come to be a very profitable business, killing other humans, and it's an awful business to be in, and I don't like it. I worked for the Department of Defense, and I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. Um, so the war for profit is a very awful thing to be in. But the pure love is that thing, that feeling that you have for something or someone that can heal. It can do great, beautiful things. It can also kill. People die of a broken heart every day. When you love someone unconditionally, and this is where there is some care that has to be put into this. When you love someone unconditionally, and then they hurt you, or um, they leave you, or you whatever, it can be very harmful to you. It can cause you such stress that it can also kill you. So we have to be very careful, right? We have to know that not everyone has the ability to be in a pure love state, and that there is a possibility that they could harm you because they don't understand what the power of pure love is, and what exercising love in the wrong way can do. When you think about where we are with love, and particularly the sex side of it, um, the the um, the random acts of sexual conduct has done great harm in our world, particularly in this country. Um, there's been some really atrocious sexual things that have been going on for a long time now, and it has done great damage to the human spirit. Think about that as you're going into these lessons, particularly in the pure love one. Think about where you are directing your love energy, and whether or not that love energy is being done in a pure way. Pure love is like a jewel. It's like a diamond, and we have to be very careful about how we craft our love. for others and for our planet. And uh, so the elixir of healing, forgiveness, is very powerful, and we have to learn to use it. We have to learn how to apply it. And so that's where we're going to go with the pure love to study. Um, and I think that you already, if you've met me before and you've talked to me, you know that I love you and that there's no expectation from me in my love for you. So um, that's 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 something that comes with time, and it does take work. Um, and when I say that it takes work, when you start peeling back the onion of this person that you are, the pure love comes. It will blossom, because once you get all the funk off of you, once you get all that stagnation out of you, the pure love just comes and it blossoms. And you don't have to work real hard at it, other than you don't have to work at being a pure love being. You have to work hard at getting the stuff out of the way that's blocking it. I guess that's the best way to put it. And then your essence. Okay, so your essence is the set of attributes that you were given when you were designed and put into this body in your womb, in the womb of your mother. And so when you were designed, when you were created, you were given the attributes for your essence that you were here to do. From Jump Street, you were given those things. So of all the components of the Hope formula, the essence is the final and most crucial piece of the puzzle, because that's what you're here to do. So with the power of honesty, when you assess the power of your omnipotence and your openness, you are believing, you're creating your beliefs, and with the unleashing the power of pure love, then your essence is going to begin to be reawakened in you, and you will start to feel like this is what you should be doing. It will come to you. You will start to see it. You'll start to feel it, and you'll start wanting to exercise it. Right now, you may be stuck in a stagnation trap where you're doing your 9 to 5, you're doing whatever it is you're doing, you're stuck there, and you're not feeling fulfilled, or maybe you've done something that's got you in a position where you're working to get out of there. You're working to figure out how you're going to make your next steps in your life. Uncovering your essence will get you there. But remember that you've been programmed from a very early age to be what you are right this second, probably. You are pre-programmed to be in this position that you're in right now. So you're going to get out of that. The essence is what you're going to uncover. Um, a word of caution here is that our current world we live in, as I know they're witnessing every day, if you're reading the news, if you're watching the news, or you're going to school and you're listening to people talk and you're watching how things are unfolding, particularly in our country, the United States, things are very unsettled right now. There are forces at work that are dividing us as a country. They are causing us to think, strangely about who we are and about what we're experiencing as human beings. And I just want you to take, now there's never been a more important time for hope than now. And I'm so glad you're here, because when you think about what's going on in our country and around the world right now, you need to really be getting into this hope idea, this whole hope formula, and start uncovering what it is you need to be doing. Because at some point, and I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer or anything like that, but if things keep continuing the way they are, knowing what you're here to do is going to be absolutely critical to you being able to make it, for you being able to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for whatever comes next. I call this the anti-civilization, as many of my mentors have done. Um, the anti-civilization is what's going on now with all the craziness that's dividing us. And um, getting away from the mysticisms that are clouding our thinking. You know, a lot of the churches um, the things that they teach are keeping us away from our essence, away from our purpose. They're keeping us in fear rather than helping us to understand what it was Jesus was teaching us and what Jesus wants us to be. They're causing us to be anti-civilized. Um, and so, and when you see this rioting in the streets and you see all these things going on that are causing people to harm one another so badly, and you see our politicians going at each other like they are, this is all anti-hope. And so they're not being honest. As you know, you can see that. You can see that in everything that there's so much that they're doing now. Um, you know, I don't like calling out people, institutions particularly, but if you think about the Catholic Church and where they went down, where they have been going since way back when, with this whole thing with boys and stuff like that, that was not anything that they were supposed to be doing. They lost their way in that way. When you think about our politicians and how they're um, using their power as lawmakers to make them uh, to help themselves rather than the people they're supposed to represent in our government. There's just so much that's so mutated away from the basic principles of hope that now's the great time to be doing what you're doing. So finding your essence and putting that all together is a great idea, a great thing to be doing now. Um, so um, so going forward, we're going to help you to get through each one of these lessons, go through the work, go through the work. We're going to help you get some worksheets going, help you take notes. And we're going to get into the meat of this thing. So I want to welcome you. So in closing, I want to say that we have gone over what um, hope consists of, which is honesty, omnipotence, or openness, pure love and essence. We've talked about the science a little bit, the natural laws and spirituality, how they're all integrated into our existence, and how we need to reawaken those and unlock those basic fundamentals that help us be who we are. We've talked about what happens when we segregate away from those and how we've been programmed since our early years to be something that we're not, and how that has twisted us. And we've talked about how we're going to find your essence and developing your new life strategy around that essence. And that's the secret. So now you know that the secret is to find your essence, is to reawaken that child within. It's been knocking at your door, reawakening that, and developing a strategy going forward for your life. So here we are. So that's the opening for your hope journey. I look forward to it. I want you to read those first 3 chapters in the book if you haven't already, and then we're going to get into the honesty lesson next, and we're going to do an honesty assessment, and we're going to really start digging into you and digging into what you're going to be doing. So thank you. Have a good day, and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Love to you.